Hello lovelies, welcome to my crafting room. Do you want to know how I turn sawdust and pipe cleaners into these miniature trees? Well, stick around because I'm going to show you step by step how to create your own tiny forest. Whether you're into dioramas, model making, or just love a fun DIY project, this one's for you. Let's get started. We're going to start with the flocking. To make flocking, you're going to need a cup of water, a foam block, some sawdust, and a utility knife. Or if you have snipping pliers like wire cutters, those would work too. Don't forget to grab a torch. You'll also need glue and a few shades of green paint to bring these trees to life. Let's get started. Add your sawdust onto your paper plate, or whatever means that you're going to be able to mix this on. Then add a bit of water to stretch the fibers. This helps the paint to soak into the pores of the wood more effectively. Next, pour on the paint and get right in there with your gloved hand and mix it all together. If your paint isn't spreading well, don't worry. Just add a little bit more water, and remember, a little goes a long way. And just keep mixing until you have the perfect shade of green. Once I was happy with the color, I flipped it onto a paper towel and spread it out nice and even. Set it aside and gave it some time to completely dry. This can take anywhere from a couple of hours to overnight if you're a patient person, but I am not a patient person. Once I set that aside, I repeated the process to create 2 more shades of green. For the last batch, I made a little extra since I'll be using that as a base coat. This way, I can use the other colors to add variations as needed, having a mix of shades, which gives the trees that realistic, natural look. Now, it's time to turn those pipe cleaners into tree trunks. Okay, it's time to grab our pipe cleaners. Fold one into thirds. If you make a crease where the bend is, it makes it easier to cut. So use your wire cutters, or in my case, utility knife, pulling away from you to cut through the loops, first on one side, then the other. Each pipe cleaner third will become a tree branch. So you just need to repeat this a few, dozen times. Luckily, I came prepared and already have some pre-made. So grab about 3 to 6 pipe cleaners and start twisting them together. I began twisting about halfway down to form the trunk. Make sure to keep your twists as tight as possible. Pinch the bottom of the pipe cleaner firmly between your fingers as you twist. Keep the tension steady like wringing out a towel, but gently. This will help us create a solid base without any loose gaps and keep it sturdy for all the branches we're about to shape. Once the trunk is set, spread out the top to create the limbs. From here, I rolled up each limb into the center one by one. Once they're all curled in, it creates a little star shape, kind of like this. If I can get it to focus, please. That works. Okay. Now, to give the tree some personality, you can uncurl the limbs slightly and twist it around the limb next to it and keep going until the shape feels natural. Whether it's a wild, fluffy ball shape, or a more structured diamond shape, or a crazy, wild, twisted shape, each one is unique, so have fun with it. To finish, grab a torch. Carefully run it along the trunk to burn off those loose, fluffy fibers. Focus on the trunk itself, but leave the top alone. That fuzz will help the glue to stick later on. Once you're happy with the shapes, plant them in a foam block to keep them steady for the next steps. Grab your favorite black spray paint, head to a well-ventilated area, and give those trees a nice, even base coat. This step makes the flocking pop later on. For me, that meant heading into my messy garage, and trust me, you don't need to see that chaos right now. Now, as you can see, my trees are mostly black, but there is still some of the color bleeding through. But the black is just a base, so that's perfectly fine. Dip it into a 50% glue, 50% water mixture. Tap off the extra glue, and then it's time to roll it in our flocking. You can also pick up part of the flocking and dust it on top, kind of like you're sprinkling salt onto a steak, and just fill all the nooks and crannies with your flocking. This will really fill out our trees to make it look like full leaves. Now all that's left is to repeat the steps for the remaining trees. And there you have it. A beautiful mini forest, perfect for your dioramas, miniatures, or set pieces. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this DIY and want to see more fun projects like it, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And if you tried this yourself, I'd love to know. Tell me in the comments what you'll use your mini trees for and what creative projects you have in mind. And have a lovely day. The third will become a tree. Each pipe. Why are words so hard? Meh.